Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Broken Tables podcast. This is episode number 25. I am your host, Jeffrey Vegas. I'm here with my co-host, Rome. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Glad you were able to get home to watch Rampage tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was a great show.
Yeah, me too. I thought this was one of their best shows. You know, Rampage keeps getting better and better. It's absolutely fantastic. I love this 7 o'clock time slot, man. Excuse me. I know you had work tonight, but this 7 o'clock time slot is just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, well, this isn't a normal thing and won't be a normal thing for me moving forward, really. It's just me wrapping up the job I'm at right now. They're just kind of throwing me around. So
Yeah.
normally it wouldn't be an inconvenience. It's very ironic to me that the week that they finally do the time slot that I want them to do is the week that I wasn't able to get home for the
Yeah.
time slot.
Well,
It's like it's such a rarity. Like I'm usually home by 5 or well, 5:36, but like yeah, like I loved this time slot. Like even coming, getting home at like 7:45, 8 o'clock and watching it at 8 o'clock, like I loved it.
yeah, me too,
Absolutely
man.
loved
It
it.
was perfect. Uh, they don't, don't tell anybody, but I actually worked till 8, but the boss gave me off early so I could actually take a watch of the episode. So that was really nice. But
There you go.
yeah, so thank you for everybody that is watching with us live here on YouTube and everybody who is listening to this the next day on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, and Anchor. Thank you guys very much. So let's get into it, man. We started off tonight with the Gun Club versus the Blackpool Combat Club. This was the first time we got to see them as a trio in action. I thought this was freaking awesome. A couple of hot tags in there. I thought it was great. I thought it was a really good match. What'd you think?
Yeah, I also thought this was really great. A few things that I definitely noticed. I love the focus on this match was still Wheeler Yuta, and I think that that was really phenomenal. I mean, we definitely had Danielson and Mox in there doing their thing, and we definitely had the Gun Club in there.
Yep.
But Yuta gets a start early, and crowd is just super hot for the guy. I mean, this was live tonight. Rampage was live,
Yes.
um, which is why they did the 7 o'clock time slot because they taped Battle of the Belts 2 afterwards, which we will be recapping tomorrow.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, no, the crowd was super into Yuta, and I love it.
Absolutely.
Really love to see it. This trio was a lot of fun. Like these guys were a lot of fun to watch. I love the styles. They really mesh really well. And you got Regal on commentary. It's just the Blackpool Combat Club is really, really good. And it's going to be really good. I thought that the ending of this match was perfect, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Having Wheeler Yuta do the special pin to beat Billy Gunn was just excellent. I think it again it puts the emphasis on Wheeler Yuta, him being the young guy. Like this isn't a typical faction where it's just Mox and Danielson and then they have like their muscle or not their muscle but their lackey in Yuta. Like no, this is going to be a trio where these guys are all putting in the work and benefiting from it. And that's the best kind of faction. When you really don't know who the star of the faction is, that's when you have a really good faction on your hands, I think.
Absolutely. Yep. I really loved
Um,
Regal on commentary as well. Did you see that like inverted figure four? I don't even know what to call it. It's like a reverse figure four, and he like arches his back. He does a neck arch and crosses his arms. Wheeler Yuta, that move is amazing. I freaking love it.
yeah, it's a great move. I did see it. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, it's great having Regal on commentary too because I love, and this is something I really love about AEW. One of the many things is the commentary just feels so smart. Like they explain things and everything has a reason and everything makes sense in
Mm-hmm.
the sake of the lore in the universe that we're in, when we enter like a pro wrestling world. um Other places don't do that as much where things just don't make sense sometimes and the commentary team isn't there to help, whereas in AEW they are, and I think that that's really great. It's great that William Regal's there, and I don't remember what move exactly happened, but Regal was literally explaining why Wheeler Yuta was doing the move that he was doing
Yeah.
and why he was grabbing him the way he was grabbing him, and like that's just perfect. Like that's excellent. Like everything needs to have a reason. Obviously, in pro wrestling, there are things, it is a scripted sport. It is like, these guys are taking care of each other at the same time. And it's really impressive to have William Regal there explaining why he's doing things in terms of like the kayfabe. He's like, well, in this, he's grabbing him like this because he has to get leverage. Like, no, he's actually just trying to hold him up so he doesn't like kill him.
Yeah.
But I love things like that, and the immersion is so important. You know, I once knew a guy who just didn't understand like pro wrestling. Like how can you get into it? It's just like you just immerse yourself in it, man. You just let it go and enjoy it for what it is.
Yep, absolutely.
And we're like, he probably like felt that way because he watched The Fed. Like he's like, well, this doesn't make sense because it's just stupid. It's like, yeah, if you put more to it, it makes it's better for it. Um, but I also liked Wheeler Yuta getting, like I said, getting the pin and getting it in the manner that he did. That tells me that I feel like there's going to be a Wheeler Yuta Billy Gunn singles match coming up.
Ooh, that'd be nice. Cause I really enjoyed the ending there where kind of like everybody got taken out by Billy and then Wheeler like kind of got up and it was him versus this monster. Like when they faced off, Billy Gunn looks like a monster compared to him. Like he was made in a laboratory.
Yeah, definitely.
So I really enjoyed that ending, like you said. But yeah, fantastic. I hope we do see that singles match sometime in the future. That'd be freaking sweet. Give it to me on
Yeah.
Rampage next week.
Yeah, I just felt like the booking of that kind of like just the way the match ended. It was a quick special pin, and I don't know, it just makes sense. It just feels like the right thing to do.
Yep. So after this one here, we got a another match between the Butcher and a Joey Janela wannabe. I didn't even catch this guy's name. He looked oddly similar to Joey Janela. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that he necessarily looked like Joey Janela,
Yeah.
but I mean, I tried to catch his name and I was just unable to.
Yeah, same.
Um, he didn't even get like a title card or whatever you want to call it, a name
Nope.
card. Um, I thought that this was a really important segment to do for, the Wardlow Butcher match that we have coming up on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Um, I think it was exactly what it needed to be. It was very quick. It was a squash match. Butcher looked really, really good, and he
Yep.
is really, really good. The problem is that the Butcher and the Blade you know, they take the back seat, in terms of the AFO because Andrade is the focal point. So it was really good to get Butcher out there and kind of have him establish himself as a legitimate threat to Wardlow. Because if you don't do this here on Rampage, you're kind of sitting here like, really, this is Wardlow's. We were doing it on Wednesday. I was like, this is Wardlow's first match, like
Yeah.
with MJF booking him. It's just the Butcher. But so I thought this was a really great little spot.
Yeah, I agree because remember I was pointing out, when they announced the match between him and Wardlow, I was like, didn't they already have a match and Wardlow kind of smashed him? So I'm not too sure about this, but this kind of reestablished the Butcher as, a good contender. So should be a good match.
Yeah.
All right, next up was Dustin Rhodes putting out a challenge to a legend that was a dream match for him. And I tried to predict who he was about to say, and I wrote down Sting real fast, and I had to cross it out because he said CM Punk. What'd you think of this?
The last Rhodes standing, my friend. This
Yep.
guy, I love Dustin Rhodes. I think that he is excellent. I'm so fired up. I did think it was CM Punk when he's talking about the bucket list. Um, some of the kids on Twitter did their research, and Dustin has never faced CM Punk in a match. Um, there was a six-man tag that they were both a part of in 2005, though, but that's the closest that they've gotten to being in the ring with each other. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm so excited for this match. You know, I'm on the CM Punk for world champion or bust. That's where my flag is right now. And I think right now you're having CM Punk having excellent singles matches with excellent wrestlers, and this is going to be no different. And I'm really excited for this. I thought this was an excellent promo from Dustin. Super passionate, genuine. It's good that we have at least one Rhodes in wrestling that is genuine. Um, gonna keep dying on that hill. I don't care.
Yeah.
Um,
Real quick,
and just yeah,
real quick,
oh, there,
welcome
go ahead.
to Alex in the chat, long time viewer of my old Twitch channel. So welcome to the YouTube channel, Alex. Thank you very much. And
What's
Big
going on,
Juicy
Alex?
Cam hopped in. Welcome. Says, did Adam Page win? We are going to get to the review of that match, but yeah, yes, he did win. So we'll get to the review of that here in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely stick around because there was a lot of awesome stuff from that
It was
match, and
really good.
we're gonna go in depth with it. So stick around, please. But yeah, no, I mean, this is gonna be such a good match. Dustin Rhodes and CM Punk, like these are two excellent veterans who are gonna tell you a really good story on Wednesday, and
Yeah.
I'm super hyped for this match.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be one of the best pure wrestling matches we're going to see in a long time. It's going to be someone with 5 decades worth of experience in the ring versus, I mean, pretty sure you're in my favorite like of all time almost, right?
Oh yeah, like as of right now, and probably for the past like 10 years, CM Punk is my favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah, he's fairly close to mine. I couldn't think of anybody more other than maybe like the Warrior back in the day, but nah, Punk's probably my favorite right now. So
Yeah, I
that's
mean, like I
going to
would
be
say, like
incredible.
when I was younger, maybe Triple H, Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels, Undertaker, those guys. It was kind of like a three-way tie with Triple H kind of edging them out. But like now, as an adult, looking back on like my fandom as a wrestler, like watching wrestling, like CM Punk is my favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah, same here, same here.
Yeah.
All right. So next up was Ruby Soho versus Robyn Renegade. I absolutely loved this match. I thought that this was going to be a little bit of a, an iffy match depending on what exactly happened, but both these girls did absolutely fantastic. I am absolutely a huge fan of the Renegade twins right now. Everything that I see with these girls is freaking awesome. They need to get signed ASAP. I don't care if anyone thinks that they're a Bella Twins copycat or anything like that, because it's just I love it. I love it. What about you?
I mean, aren't the Bella twins just a ripoff of the Basham brothers?
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Throwback, by the way. I bet nobody in the world has thought of Doug and Danny Basham
right?
in years. But here I am bringing out the SmackDown 2005 or whatever it is vibes.
That's funny. Yeah,
Um, yeah, but no, I mean, I thought this was a really good match, much better than I thought it was going to be. I agree with you to an extent that I think the Renegades definitely have a future in AEW. I don't know if we're quite there yet. I like the gimmick a lot. I like their look. I think that they're very good in the ring. Um, you know, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you're kind of saying this was kind of like maybe a star-making performance for you. I wouldn't go that far. I thought it was
no,
very
yeah,
good.
no, not quite that far. I do agree with that, but you know,
Yeah, I thought it was very good, and again, like there was a point where I was like, oh, like are the Renegades gonna win this? Like I did for a second think it, and like at the end of the day, that's great booking, that's great wrestling, that's great on everybody involved, their parts. Uh, but yeah, I thought this was very good, and I think we should definitely see more of the Renegades. Continue to see them. I mean, we've seen them on Dark, and now we're seeing them on Rampage and Dynamite here and there, and
yeah,
let's keep it going.
yeah, I'm all for it. Me and all of my Twitter companions are saying Tony sign both of them. Uh, I actually get their mom. I'm following their mother as well, and she's a big time wrestling fan, and she didn't even know they were gonna pull that switch tonight. So she's like, "Holy crap!" I jumped out of my chair, and I was like, "So did I." It was cool. I really liked it, even though Ruby won. It did make me think that Robyn was gonna get the win there because of the old switcheroo, but like I said, I like it. I hope they continue it in the future, and if Tony's listening, sign these girls, man.
Right, definitely. But also, I would say like it was Ruby was definitely right to win this match.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I thought it was great. I'm excited for the Owen tournament to start, which I think they said starts on Wednesday, actually. Which I
ooh,
mean,
that's
I assume
nice.
that we're done with the qualifiers at this point. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a great effort by the Renegade Twins, and I would like to see them do a little bit more. They got to start racking up some wins. I think probably now's the time to put them on Dark and Elevation, and maybe kind of have them, start picking up those wins. I mean,
Yeah,
also
I
we don't
agree.
know what's coming with Ring of Honor. but which I do have a rumor that we'll talk about later to kind of wrap up the show about Tony Khan's possible announcement. But we'll
Okay,
see what
cool.
happens. That just made me
Awesome.
think of it, but it's a little rumor. We'll see what happens.
All right. So next up, we had just a quick mention that CM Punk has accepted the match with Dustin Rhodes for Dynamite next week, right?
Correct, and I do have the rest of the card written down too, which we'll get to that.
Perfect. We'll get to that. And next up was our main event. It was Adam Cole versus Adam Page. I absolutely loved this match. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. The way that Hangman came out and the moment he got next to the ring, he just immediately went underneath and started throwing chairs into the ring. Adam Cole even picked one of them up and he just smacked it out of his hand. Like, I don't even care you have that in your hand. Walked right up into his face. Like, this was a champion being a freaking badass, man. I loved this. What did you think?
I think that we live in a world where we are extremely lucky as wrestling fans. You could say, what did we do to deserve such fortune? I mean, and the answer is we watched the Fed for years with
Yeah.
no help of any kind. This was an excellent match, man. This is on free TV. This is a pay-per-view level match on free television. This was excellent. I loved every second of this. The intensity, the storyline, just excellent, man. And it continues the long running Hangman Adam Page storyline in very what's the word, pinpoint ways, where it was just like one of AEW's longest running stories is the story of Adam Page, and him dealing with his insecurities and him dealing with the struggles that he deals with as as his character puts it, a anxious millennial cowboy. um and that's his character, that's his gimmick. And there was points in this match that, like, yes, we had a Texas death match, which was excellent, and there are so many spots I would kind of want to mention.
Absolutely.
But like the storytelling here, I'm just going to go in order of my notes, and like we can kind of trade off. I don't know how many notes you took. um I really loved the fighting in the crowd spot when they went up into the stands. Adam Page grabs a beer from a fan, cracks it over. It was an aluminum bottle, so it didn't break, but
That was great.
cracks it over Adam Cole's head, and then takes a drink. Which I think that's the first time we've seen Adam Page actually drink a beer since he won the world title, because he kind of like left and then came back, and he was
Yeah.
dealing with his belief in himself. Um, but that was a really cool moment. I really loved the chair moonsault where Page held a chair and moonsaulted onto Cole. That was pretty dope. Uh, Cole getting busted open, and unfortunately, I don't think he bled to the desired effect. But um, this was one of those kinds of matches where a little bit of color definitely helps.
Yeah.
Uh,
The
and
blood
then,
the blood from
yeah, sorry, good.
Hangman's chin, man, that looked like it hurt. That looked like it was natural.
Yeah, he was like bleeding from his jaw. I was like I'm guessing it was his lip.
Well, no, it actually looked
Or
like it
maybe
was from underneath his jaw when he did that moonsault off the top rope and he got super kicked on the way down. That would be right where Adam Cole's foot would have connected, was right there on the underneath of his chin. Made sense.
Yeah, do you think he bladed that?
I don't actually. It looked like it started bleeding that naturally right away. I don't know if he really caught him or what, but he could have.
Yeah.
They didn't keep the camera on him the whole time, but it looked, it was as quick as Wheeler Yuta when he started bleeding. That was quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, before that moonsault super kick, did you catch I'm sure you did. It was a big spot. The fireman's carry over the chairs.
Yes. Oh my God.
God, that's such a brutal spot, because the camera work on that was excellent. Where, like, I know, like, he landed on his back, but
Mm-hmm.
like it looked like he landed on his fucking neck, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is brutal.
Now,
This is just
you got
so
to be an
brutal.
absolute pro to pull that move off, because you have to give Cole enough momentum to where his body's still moving, to where he barely touched the chair, but it looked like it killed him. You know what I mean? Um, that takes such precision to pull that off, and I've seen guys do that move, and I'm just like, how is that guy still alive? You know, and they did that perfectly, absolute perfection.
Right. And then then we get to the part where, kind of what I was talking about earlier with just the excellent, like the storytelling. So, and like props to Tony Khan for having it mic'd up a little bit. They must have had a mic close to it because they knew they wanted to do this spot.
Yeah.
But we get to a point where Adam Cole is kind of holding Adam Page against the ropes, and he says, "You'll never be me. You'll never be Kenny Omega." And it's just like Adam Page just kind of flips and goes off. Not flips physically, but he just like snaps, and just like like for me that felt like such a powerful moment where it's like, Adam Page has been dealing with these insecurity issues, and since he's become champion, he's been a lot more confident in himself. But like, just kind of felt like the next little chapter in that story where it's just like, Adam Cole's trying to talk him down, just like, you're not anything. You're not me. You're not Kenny Omega. You're worthless. You're a piece of shit. And Hangman responds with like, no, I'm not you or Kenny Omega. I'm Hangman Adam Page. Um, and then he responds with going under the ring, and he ties Adam Cole to the ring ropes with his belt, and then goes and grabs a steel chair with barbed wire connected to it. And again, this is just such beautiful storytelling. And it's like, I know we're in the middle of a Texas death match, and this is probably the first time I've ever really seen like one of these Texas death matches where it's like there was like some really major story being told here
Yeah.
beyond I'm just beating the shit out of you. Where it was like, you see the confliction of Adam Page where he's just like,
Dude,
he's like, I want to fucking smash this guy's head in with
there
this barbed wire steel chair.
there was a spot where Cole was sitting in a chair and Hangman picked up a chair, and I thought he was going to hit him with it, but then he was like, nope, and he unfolded it and sat down in front of him and was like, come on, bitch, hit me. And they just started brawling in their chairs. I was like, this is so good. This is so good.
Yeah, and that spot too is like a testament to the storyline where it's like, this is about Adam Page and Adam Cole, and like there's like Adam Page wants to respect Adam Cole, but the problem is that Adam Cole does not respect Adam Page.
No.
And it's just, again, just it's beautiful storytelling. It's excellent storytelling. We talk about all the time. I'm really big on the storytelling of pro wrestling. Like, yes, I love the athleticism. Yes, I love the moves and the matches, but like for me, like the promos, the storytelling really is what makes it extra special for me.
Yeah.
And that really resonated with me in this match where it was just like, and then again, he has him wrapped up, and like he could do it. He could smash him with the chair and just, just obliterate him, but he doesn't do it,
He
because
couldn't
he couldn't bring himself to do it to his old
couldn't
friend.
do it.
Um, and so he goes to untie him, and of course Adam Cole takes the low blows him as soon as Adam Page undoes it, and then Adam Page is like, all right, well, fine, fuck you then, grabs the barbed wire and wraps it around his arm, and which kind of sets up for the ending of the match, which is not only the broken table of the week, absolutely, but an excellent finish to this match.
Hell yeah. A few people, so we'll talk about the finish here and then I'll get to that. So
Yeah.
This finish, man, I thought we were going to see the Panama Sunrise through the table, but Hangman counters and we get the dead eye through the table head first for Adam Cole. Oh my, they just looked like he killed him. And he put a crown.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
He put a crown of barbed wire on his head on Good Friday, by the way.
I was gonna point that out if you didn't. That he was wearing a crown of thorns while
Oh
on
man,
Good Friday.
that was absolutely
kind of looks like Jesus to begin with.
brutal.
Loved it.
And
Absolutely loved it.
And the ref counts to 10, so Hangman retains. Now, some people on Twitter were like, I thought there wasn't a count-out finish in a Texas death match. And I'm like, that was a 10 count because he was knocked out, you morons. So anybody who's wondering if that was a count out, no, that was a knockout. He was down for 10 seconds, just like the ref tried counting out every time somebody was down the entire match. Like,
So did you see that Eric Bischoff was actually? It seemed like he was offended by the Crown of Thorns spot.
yeah.
Yeah, because Sean Ross Sapp laughed about it or something. Like
He goes, "You think that's funny?"
yeah, he's like, you thought that was funny? And I'm like, Eric Bischoff, please, the shit you pulled in WCW, and
I'm
you're
like,
gonna see, and 2003 Monday Night Raw, let's not forget Eric Bischoff. You made fun of a wrestler whose gimmick was he was a special needs wrestler.
yeah, and
Um,
I'm Catholic,
let's
and
not
I
forget.
thought it was funny. So
Yeah, I'm a Christian. You know, it is what it is. It was cool.
not like I practice or anything, but you know.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite finishes in these death matches that we have had. I think this is only our second or third death match, or Texas death match anyway. One of my favorite finishes in AEW history. I absolutely loved everything about the final, 2 to 3 minutes of this.
Yeah, I thought that this was an excellent match. You know, we talk about it a lot with Adam Page, and I'm still kind of going to say what I've been saying, that Adam Page is the best babyface in pro wrestling right now. And this championship reign, I actually wanted to take a few minutes real quick to kind of run through the championship reign of Adam Page to date.
Oh, do it,
Um,
please.
so he won the title from Kenny Omega at Full Gear in November of last year, which was a
Okay.
great, excellent match. His first title defense was Winter is Coming against Bryan Danielson, which went to a time limit draw, a 60-minute time limit draw, mind you.
Whew.
Then he had the
Yeesh.
rematch, Hangman Page versus Bryan Danielson 2, that we were there live for, which was fucking insane.
Yeah.
Then he defended the title against Lance Archer in a Texas death match, which was awesome. This one was better than that one, but it was still an awesome match in its own right. Then he defended the title against Dante Martin, which that was a really fun little match. And then he's defended the title twice against Adam Cole, both at Revolution and then tonight. And that's about 6 defenses, and then plus the Kenny Omega match, so 7 world title matches he's been in, and it's been an excellent run. It's been very good. He's killing it.
Yeah, I just found the best gif of him and just put it on. It's so good. Oh, jeez. All right. Oh man, that's
Um,
funny.
but yeah, this is it's been a very good title run. It's been very good. I do think it's coming to an end at Double or Nothing in 5 weeks. I believe it's 5 weeks.
Oh yeah, he's
We're gonna.
face.
I have to figure out exactly how far out we are, so we can, because we keep talking about the countdown every episode, and I keep saying 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 7 weeks. I gotta get a proper number. I'll
Yeah,
have one for next week, I promise. Um, but yeah, no, this was an excellent match with excellent storytelling that further continued the story of Hangman Adam Page. When we look back on the first 5 years of AEW, I mean, the story of Adam Page is a major storyline that's going to, be throughout it. And that was, tonight was, a chapter in that story. And, you got to think that this was the end of the title feud between these two guys, right?
you would think
This
so.
felt this felt very definitive, if you would. Um, which means he's going to be wrapping this up for the pay-per-view, the new challenger, which again, I think it's going to be Punk, and I hope it is. And hopefully CM Punk wins that match.
That's funny that you say that because at the exact moment you're talking about Punk, I found a gif of his as well, and that one's just as good as Hangman's. Permanently added
Mm.
to the list.
Very nice, very nice. So yeah, all around, I thought this was a really good Rampage. It was definitely a different Rampage because Tony Khan knows he has an hour of TV tomorrow, so instead of jamming an hour in there, he kind of let the hour breathe. I thought that was really good. I thought that was really cool. Usually the hour flies by in a good way. Tonight, not so much, but it was still a really good show because it really let these matches breathe, especially the first one and the last one.
I actually thought the opposite. I thought it flew by again. I was like, man, this is already over. I was like, holy crap, this went by so fast.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it dragged on.
Yeah.
That's not a knock against the show. It was deliberately a much slower pace of a show, and that's because
Yeah.
they have a whole nother hour to work with tomorrow. Um,
Yeah.
so I felt like Tony Khan knew that he could let it breathe, and I think the show was better for it. While I do love the Rampage breakneck speed that they normally do, the thought of having 2 hours on a Friday night is still very enticing to me. I think that the roster is big enough and you have enough going on where you absolutely can do it. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. Maybe it's
Yeah.
something on Warner's part where they just want to keep it at an hour. Maybe Tony Khan doesn't want to overdo it. I don't know. Um, but I definitely enjoyed this being a live Rampage on a Friday night at 7 o'clock. I thought this was very good.
Yeah. I love the time slot. As long as the boss lets me watch more, I'm all with it. Uh, so yeah, that was it for Rampage. You got the rundown for Wednesday night and Friday night. All
Yes.
right, let's break it
Give me
down.
1 second to pull it up. All right. So first up, mostly for Dynamite, we didn't really get much introduced or announced that we didn't already know about from Wednesday. We do have Wardlow versus the Butcher. Um, I think that's going to be a pretty fun brawl between these two guys, especially after tonight. I mean, Butcher looks great. Um, I do expect there to be some sort of shenanigans from MJF or the AFO at some point. But we'll see about what happens with that. We have Hook's Dynamite debut. We don't have an opponent penciled in for that yet, but it's safe to assume that Hook is going to uh, kill whoever it is.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not telling us who his opponent is. It's a little odd to me. I was expecting them to tell us who it is, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
I don't think I think it's just that it doesn't matter who it is. They're probably going to decide somebody. It might be some enhancement talent, or it might be someone who's kind of lower on the card. After last week's Dynamite, clearly it seems like he's going to be starting a feud against Tony Nese,
Okay.
which I think that's a pretty cool idea. I mean, they haven't really done much with Tony Nese since he signed. He's not even really on Dark or Elevation at this point. So I definitely think it's a good idea to get him involved. And of course, Smart Mark Sterling is with Tony Nese, so big Smart Mark guy. So the more we can get him on TV, I'm down for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to get him into another match somehow.
Mm-hmm. And then so we have what I believe is the last of the women's qualifiers for the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Dr. Britt Baker versus Danielle Camella.
Yeah, I'm
And
not
that's
I'm
on
not
Wednesday
familiar with
night.
this Danielle Camella girl. She may have been on Dark once or twice, but wasn't enough for me to remember possibly. But I'm down for Britt being in another regular match. It's been a while since we've seen her. Is this her first match since the title loss?
Yeah, this is her first match since the title loss. And also, I'm not super sure that I've seen Danielle Camella on Dark or Elevation either. The name
Yeah.
doesn't ring a bell. So I don't think she's been on it. But yeah. And then we have another Owen Hart qualifier match, Jungle Boy and Kyle O'Reilly. That's going to be a good match. Expect
Yeah.
that to do pretty well.
I love me some Kyle O'Reilly, you know that. And
Yep.
yeah.
We have Dustin Rhodes versus CM Punk, which I expect this to open the show on Wednesday. Um, Now, here is a thought that I had when I realized this. So CM Punk's storyline right now is that he's going out there having like excellent singles matches against wrestlers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think he's facing in 2 weeks when we're there live watching him wrestle?
That's what I was wondering, man. When I heard about this Dustin Rhodes match, I was like, man, that's who I want to see.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm okay with seeing it on TV, and then at least like we get someone else next with the following week. So I'm curious to see who we're gonna get when we go. I'm really excited to go. This is gonna be great.
Oh, I can't wait, man. So that was actually something I meant to mention when we were talking about Dynamite, or I mean, Rampage here. So when you said they had that spot in the crowd where he hit him with the can of beer or with the bottle of beer,
Yeah,
that's exactly where our seats are, right there.
oh, it's dope.
So I was like, man, I'm so jealous right now. I wish this would have happened. But we'll see. That's usually where things happen in the audience. So
Yeah. And then the last thing we have announced for, well, we have two more things for Dynamite, but the last match we have for Dynamite is the coffin match:
oh,
Andrade El Idolo versus Darby Allin.
haven't seen a bad coffin match yet.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be something special. And then finally we have Tony Khan making a huge announcement on Dynamite. Do you want to talk about that now, or do you want to close the show with that?
Let's go ahead and we'll talk about that one now.
Okay, so I did happen to hear a rumor on the internet, and it could just be that, it could just be a rumor. Take it with the utmost grain of salt. But there is a rumor going around that there will be an AEW cross promotion New Japan Pro Wrestling show on June 25th in Chicago.
That is what I was hearing as well. Now,
Yes.
as much as I would enjoy that, I hope Tony's surprise is not spoiled. You know what I mean? So, um, I'm okay if that's what it is because that's huge news. I just don't want it spoiled. You know?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the other things we talked about it on Wednesday, where it could be some sort of thing with Ring of Honor, where we have some details on what's going to go down with Ring of Honor, whether it be where we're going to see it, how we're going to see it, when, why, the what's, all that stuff. I think right now it could be either of those two things. Could also be the streaming deal.
That's what I
Um,
want.
there, there's been a little bit more chatter on the front about the merger with Discovery and Warner. Apparently, Warner slash Discovery is still very happy with AEW, as they should be. The show is only 3 years old and is finishing usually within the top five on cable,
Yep,
which is extremely impressive. People forget that AEW has been around for 3 years. Like
dude.
this type of thing doesn't happen in 3 years. Like think about like where staples of television were 3 years in.
Dude,
Like yes, there are institutions in television like The Simpsons and even the Fed, but like in 3 years into Raw, nobody was watching Monday Night Raw.
yeah, exactly.
3 years into The Simpsons, like The Simpsons hadn't taken off yet. It wasn't until later down the line that they did. Like these things take years and years of buildup and brand recognition. I had a really cool moment that I was actually going to share with you. I was so for my job, I'm kind of helping out at different locations because I gave my notice, so they're just throwing me around, which is fine.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there the one day, and I'm on my lunch break, and I hear these two guys, these two customers, old guys. We're talking like gray hair, like old guys, and they're talking about like old school wrestling, and like they're talking about like Hulk Hogan and Junkyard Dog, and then they start talking about Sting, and the one old man says, Sting is wrestling again, and I was like, oh my god, like these guys are clearly not like these guys weren't talking about like wrestling in like a we currently watch it
No.
sense. They were talking about it as like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we were fans. And like these guys were talking about AEW. And I thought that was so cool. Like, yes, they were talking about Sting wrestling in AEW, and they weren't like getting into all the young guys, but it's out there. People are learning that the AEW exists,
Yeah. And
and it's really cool.
like you were saying about this merger with Discovery, people have been talking about getting an HBO Max streaming deal. I'm looking at Discovery. They have their own Discovery Plus and all of that, right? Dude, it almost
Mm-hmm.
writes itself. Discover Wrestling. You know what I mean? Like Discover Pro Wrestling. Like they can have their own this whole thing for new people to get brought into wrestling, you know? I think it might be something with Discovery.
Possibly. I still think that HBO Max is going to merge with Discovery, so I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think there's going to be a difference between the two.
that
And
makes sense.
I think we keep HBO Max just because of the brand and the recognition there. Plus, I think HBO Max oh yeah, well, I know they do. They have more subscribers than Discovery does. In fact, I think HBO Max passed Disney Plus last week in terms of overall subscribers. So like
Oh
HBO
wow.
Max is really killing it right now. Yeah, they're the number 3 streaming site um, right now, with number 1 being Netflix and number 2 being Amazon Prime. So I mean, yeah, I mean HBO Max has a really large install base, and maybe that's the big announcement on Wednesday. And I honestly, any of these 3 things that it will be awesome. If
Yeah.
it's the HBO Max deal, like that's going to be excellent. If it's more Ring of Honor news, that's exciting. If it's going to be this AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling show, that's also super exciting. So I mean, Tony Khan doesn't disappoint with these announcements, and I expect it to be a very good announcement, a very exciting announcement.
Yeah, absolutely. I just hope like I said, I'm totally cool if it was the Super Show with NJPW, but I just don't want it to be spoiled. Um, you know, one thing that could be a good thing if it was spoiled is Tony. He kind of likes to have backup plans for when stuff goes down like this. So he might give us like a really nice, maybe a visit from Jay White again, something like that, if it was spoiled, and be like, well, since everybody already kind of knows what I'm going to say, here's this as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he did that one time with, I think it was with Keith Lee. That's when Jay White debuted as well. And he's like, I kind of messed up my definition of Forbidden Door. So here's Jay White.
Yeah. I'm not expected to be disappointed by the announcement, though.
No, me neither.
Yep. All right, and then so we have 2 matches announced for next Friday's Rampage. We have Daniel Garcia versus Eddie Kingston, where everyone is banned from ringside.
I like that. As soon as I saw everybody bound from ringside, I did like the dog with their head turning when they hear a weird sound. I was like, huh?
And it's like everybody's banned from ringside.
Yeah,
Everyone stay out.
that should be really good.
And then, interestingly enough, it's not going to be tomorrow, which, I mean, I still think it should have been, but we're going to get the TBS Championship match of Jade Cargill defending against Marina Shafir next Friday on Rampage.
Ooh.
Which, I mean, me personally, I'm like, let's get this match
Over
out of the
with.
way
Yes.
and let's move forward, because this, as we discussed on Wednesday, this has not been doing it for me at all. And I think the buildup has been rather weak.
Yeah.
So let's get this match going, and I expect Jade to win. I would be very shocked, not necessarily in a good way, if Jade loses to Marina Shafir.
Yeah, agreed. Now, to be fair, Jade has actually built this pretty well, being her 30th match and all of that stuff. It's just Marina Shafir being on Dark the past few times she's wrestled, and then this Wednesday just was not a great showing. I don't know if it was Sky Blue. I heard somebody say it was just a clash of styles. Like their 2 styles just did not fit in the ring, and that may have been it, but whatever it was, I think Jade has done her part. It's just the other half is just not there.
Yeah, that was something I had theorized on the show with you last Wednesday with the styles. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's been more so that Jade Cargill she's done a good job of hyping up her 30th defense more than she has done a good job hyping up her defense against Marina Shafir. Sorry.
Yeah.
Which again, this isn't anything against Jade. It's just this has been lackluster at best. Um, and so I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to do something different with Jade, and yeah.
Yep, me too. And is that the main event?
So we only have 2 matches announced at this point, and those are the 2 matches. I would assume that goes on. Maybe that's the main event next week. I don't know.
Okay.
Rampage is kind of weird, where sometimes I feel like their biggest match goes on first. For some reason, I think it's because of the time slot. They want to like wow people and get them really to start watching. It's not always the case, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do feel like a lot of times these taped rampages usually start with the match I'm most looking forward to. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. But I mean, it's definitely a thing sometimes.
Yeah.
So I could see it going on first or last.
All right. So, do you have the list for what's going down tomorrow night? Actually,
Yeah, I can run through it again real quick with you.
let's just do a real quick one. Let everybody know what's happening tomorrow night on the Battle of the Belts.
Yep, Battle of the Belts 2. So we have the Ring of Honor World Championship being defended. It will be Jonathan Gresham defending his title against Dalton Castle, which I'm super excited for. I really liked what I saw from Dalton Castle, and it would be nice to continue to see him. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said that Dalton Castle had looked great, and
yeah.
Happy to see him. There was a little bit of news that kind of came out of Fightful today that Jonathan Gresham has in fact signed an AEW contract, and we will be seeing him mostly on the Ring of Honor brand, but he is going to be a mainstay on Ring of Honor moving forward.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to sign like an AEW contract. I thought he was going to be full-time Ring of Honor, but sure, I'm down for it. You can go back and forth. No, doesn't bother me at all.
Again, I think it's going to be a very confusing thing. I'm starting to really think that we're not going to see a lot of talent that's going to you're not going to see somebody who is strictly a Ring of Honor contracted wrestler. That's not going to be a thing. I think that you're going to see it be like so-and-so is All Elite, and Ring of Honor operates under All Elite Wrestling, so therefore you will see AEW wrestlers in Ring of Honor. I really don't think it's going to be a thing where it's like, oh, well, they have two rosters. Like Jonathan Gresham is a Ring of Honor contract, and that means he's specifically Ring of Honor. No, maybe Jonathan Gresham, which, if you listen to the post-media scrum, post-pay-per-view, Supercard of Honor, Jonathan Gresham made it very clear that Ring of Honor is something that's extremely important to him, and he values. So that's the kind of guy that he might show up on Dynamite. Technically he's going to be on AEW TV tomorrow, which I think is really awesome. I'm very happy for him. He's very talented.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we'll see him mostly on Ring of Honor TV. So there's that match. We have the main event is going to be the AEW Women's Championship, which is Thunder Rosa defending against Nyla Rose. I think this is going to be a great first defense for Thunder Rosa, and I expect this to be a very good match.
Nyla Rose loves cake and violence.
I mean, that sounds like a lot of people, though, Jeff.
Everybody wants that as a shirt, man. Everybody on Twitter is like, please give us that shirt. We need it.
Cake and violence.
Yeah.
And then finally, we have the TNT Championship match. Scorpio Sky defending against Sammy Guevara. Hopefully, Scorpio Sky takes care of Sammy Guevara, and we can move on.
Yeah, Sammy needs to go away for a little bit. Go on vacation.
Yeah, the problem is I don't think he's going to necessarily go away. It's going to more so be they're going to do this tag match with Paige Van Zandt and probably Ethan Page. If I had to guess who it's going to be Ethan Page and Paige Van Zandt. Versus Ty and Sammy.
And I think somehow Paige is going to cost Sammy the match, which is what's going to lead to what you're talking about.
Probably. I would expect Paige Van Zandt and whichever member of Men of the Year to win that match. I would expect them to win that tag match.
Oh yeah, for sure. Got to put Paige Van Zandt over. She's brand new and she's a big time UFC star, so she should bring some eyes to the product.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we will be back here tomorrow night for that, and you want to wrap us up here?
Absolutely. This has been episode 25. That's right. 25. Post show, Jeff and I did go back and we looked it over, and I was correct. Last Wednesday I said episode 24. Jeff said 23. It was episode 24. So thank you, and we apologize for the miscommunication there, I guess. But this has been episode 25 of the Broken Tables podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider giving us a like and subscribe, or follow, depending on where you find us. Thank you to all of our listeners. Appreciate you guys listening to us on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. You can follow us on Twitter at Broken Tables Show, or on Facebook and Instagram at The Broken Tables Podcast. We go live on YouTube following every single AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and, even pay-per-views, especially the specials, like Battle of the Belts tomorrow. We hope to see you again, but until then, see you later.
Right on, everybody. Peace.